Welcome back to Africa Health Week 2021. I'm Dave Sharp, your host and moderator for the full 3 days of the programme. Yesterday we had a busy time with our speakers, and we're carrying on very shortly. Dr. Matangwa will be joining us to talk about the role of Diaspora in Sustainable Development Goals knowledge, transfer, partnership and collaboration. Let me just tell you a little bit about why we're here. Of course, it's to share best practice, to learn, to educate, and also to connect with each other, network. And you can do that right here from the safety of wherever you are today, whether that be in your home, office, or wherever you are out and about. You can network on this platform. You can chat using the chat facility, of course. And when our speakers are live, you can ask questions using the Q&A. You can nudge them up as well by voting if you've got a particular favourite question that you want answered. If you're on social media, who isn't these days, on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and the rest, using the hashtag Africa Health Week and Future Health, you can connect there also. And if you've missed any of the presentations, not just today, but yesterday, and any that you might miss tomorrow, of course, we're back again for day 3, then just go to the Future Health YouTube channel where you can connect with all of those presentations and see them all again on catch up. So I mentioned there that we've got our next and final presentation of day 2, all about the role of Diaspora in Sustainable Development Goals knowledge transfer, partnership and collaboration. Quite a title there. It's one that we're looking forward to. It's presented by the co-founder and CEO at African Sustainable Development Advisors Incorporated, and that is Dr. Matangwa, and he joins us now.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's a pleasure to me be closing our today meeting. First of all, let me thank all the organizers for the effort for having high-level and experienced speakers. In a few minutes, I will be getting you into our today's subject is the role of diaspora in a sustainable development goals, knowledge transfer, partnership, and collaboration. Africa diaspora and Africa descent has to be clearly defined before we to go to deeper. United Africa Union defined diaspora as a people from Africa origin who's living outside of their country, despite their citizenship and nationality, who are willing to contribute to the development of their continent and building African Union that it goes into their art as an African and also for the strategy of Africa Union. African and African descent are around 140 million, while Africa population is 1.2 billion. So it's clear to go from the beginning, we have Black everywhere worldwide, but most of them, they are in Brasilia, 55 million, in the United States of America, 46.4 million, in Haiti, 10 million, and Dominican Republic, 9.2 million, and we have 4.9 million in Colombia. So those Black people that we are referring as African descent, they came from Africa and moved to those countries from the slaves movement. But African that we are talking today is part of them, and then also those are willing decided to move to the diaspora as a foreign country. African Union, I divided Africa in 6 regions. Basically, we know that Africa have been divided in 5 regions, We are the northern regions, western region, central regions, eastern and southern region. But what happened in 2002, from 2002 to 2010, African Union has a plan to really work with diaspora, as they recognize diaspora as a strength for the development of Africa. Therefore, they had a sixth region in Africa, what is the diaspora. So, therefore, diaspora are important agent of social economic development in their country of origin. But what we observe, what we learn very often, the government of country of origin do not engage them effectively at a scale. And diaspora effort has been recognized mostly when there is crisis situation, especially in supporting post-crisis recovery. We saw it with Somalia diaspora. We saw it with a lot of African diaspora, where they are really engaged when there is crisis in the country. We saw it also in 2010, after the earthquake in Haiti, how Haitian diaspora really mobilized themselves to support the country, to support the rebuild of the country. Here, I wanted you to mention to you something. It's quite important for us to know how African diaspora, which type of activities that Africa diaspora really impact the social economic development of the country of origin. The first thing in this graph is remittance. Remittance is an economic word, but what is easy understanding of this word remittance? Remittance is money that we diaspora have been sending to our country from the host country. That's the first level where African diaspora really impact the social economic of development of the country of origin. Worldwide, we've been sending money. So this money that Africa is sending in country, Africa diaspora are sending in the country of origin, the money has really a financial impact and a substantial financial contribution through the remittance. That's the first level where diaspora really impact the country of origin. The first thing on this is investment. Beyond the remittance, diaspora contribute to the foreign direct investment. So as diaspora, the money we are sending in country of origin, this money contribute to the investment. And then also as a direct investment, FDI, as they say. And transactional entrepreneurship, including support for entrepreneurs, support of startup company, support of local investment and economy, world considering high risk. For example, someone from Nigeria, people can consider Nigeria as a high risk country to invest. But as a Nigerian, I don't really care about that because I know the culture, I know the market, and I really know the people, I really know the labor. It's easy for me to invest. Even people can consider my country of origin as a high risk country. Therefore, they are likely to be better informed, diaspora, as they're investing in their country, they are likely to be informed and to sort of the training and the labor that people required. That's the second part of how diaspora impact the social economic of their country. In this graph again, you can see that diaspora knowledge transfer. We've been here on board. Some of us has been born here. Others went to school here. We've been graduates abroad. So we have knowledge that we need to transfer to our country of origin. So with constructive contribution of the diaspora to the development of their country of origin, transfer of the knowledge. Those diaspora are great source of transfer of technical knowledge and skill. That's what we call brain gain. So we really receive skills here. We receive competencies here abroad. So we are the well-positioned people to transfer this knowledge to our country of origin. So therefore, diaspora can contribute to not only permanent repatriation, but also through short-term return. Those knowledge that diaspora has, they make it not only when they want decide to go back to the country, but also for short-term return, they really have to transfer their knowledge. The fourth part of this graph is diaspora philanthropy. So one of the most important way that philanthropy engage in many areas, philanthropy are pivotal role to play in advancing on global equity. Diaspora has money, diaspora has knowledge, and we also play a role in the philanthropy. That's the fourth part of my graph. The fifth one is advocacy, the last not the least. We've been seeing that diaspora organization and even sometimes individual have played a critical role and can influence the country of origin, where they influence media, they influence sector and other group, and they for speaking upon range and also issues that's affecting their homeland. Today we see in social media a lot of diaspora movement. So they are shouting, they are demonstrating, they are talking aloud, they are speaking on behalf of people who are voiceless. Because being abroad, the country, most of the country where African diaspora are living, it's free to talk. So they can talk, they can express, and they really advocate to change what the country have been going through. So really keep it on your mind, those 5 levels of activity where the diaspora can really impact the country of origin. Talking about remittance, we get this draft from African Grow Initiative. I told you later that diaspora send money in country. So based on this graph, what we are seeing here, the money that diaspora sent in 2019 was around $48 billion. So this data, this graph shows us that the money diaspora sent was slightly comparable to what we call official development assistance. The official development assistance was less than what diaspora sent to the country. So it was actually a little bit similar. So since what? They found that we receive the direct foreign investment that our country receive from bilateral cooperation from biggest donors that we know, those money was actually the same as what we as a diaspora send to our country. So if we are together stronger, diaspora has really an impact of developing our country of origin. I will get a time to flag remittance and COVID, as we all know that we're still in the middle of COVID, and sometimes the impact, we've been seeing the impact of COVID in the economy, in health, in social, and then also the remittance has been impacted by the COVID-19. As I said, money that we are sending to our country of origin, diaspora money they are sending, this money really help to afford food, to afford healthcare, education, and basic needs. Africa has a huge population, a growing population. So they need education, and they need a right and a strong education. So money that we are sending in country, money really goes for the education. And the healthcare, We know most of country, they don't have national insurance system. Even they have, many people can't afford it. So money that we are sending really impact on the healthcare and food and basic needs, as I said. So due to COVID-19 crisis, the World Bank data showing us that remittance flow to the region and declined by 23%, and that will reach 37 billion in 2020. And then we're expecting that that may recover for 4% in 2021. Who knows African better than us? We are African. We know Africa. Nobody can know Africa than you and I from Africa diaspora, because you can wake up, you sleep in your country, host country, but when you wake up, your mind is in Africa, your mind is in Nigeria, your mind is in Ghana, your mind is in DRC, your mind is in Senegal, your mind is in Gambia, your mind is everywhere in Africa. So who knows African better than us? We, African Sustainable Development Advisor, we provide contextual and practical knowledge about Africa we are living in. AfriSDA, our logo and our color really represent Pan-African vision. AfriSDA was born from the observation and experience and context analysis of international development interventions in Africa, and then also in critical look of some root causes as donors, representative, and then also implementers. We are actually a group of international development experts and consultants from various horizons with a good knowledge and experience on African landscape. AfriSDA, our goal is to help enhance and improve capacity building and system strengthening initiative of African government, national and local organizations in international and deliver the quality sustainable development program through innovative approaches. And then we believe that AfriSDA is a model of win-win organization. We envisage our vision an Africa where national development organization and government body are well equipped, effectively implementing meaningful sustainable development programs in line with global mandate for more equity and dignity. So, how we come to put people together and people can buy our visions? We did context analysis. As I said earlier, we worked from donors, and then also we worked from country where the project was implemented. We learned a lot while working from donors. A lot of conversation is going on donors' table. They talk about capacity building. We know that capacity building is an important component with ultimate goal for making countries self-reliant to pursue their development interactive and goal. However, there is a few challenges has been observed, and those challenges sometimes it's a keyword where donors being criticized Africa country and African organization. So what happened most of the time? Donors are still not satisfied with the return on investment. Donors have been putting a lot of money to work with African countries, to work with African organizations, but they are not satisfied on the return investment because there is a lot. There is a serious lack of trust and confidence in the ability of national and local partners, the ability to carry out and deliver according to the donor guidelines. Donors have been complaining that they put money, but Africa country, they can't really deliver the project according to the guideline. they can't meet the expectations. Donors, most of the time also, they criticize the leadership of Africa. They're really questioning about the leadership of our local government and local organization. We hear that a lot. You guys, you have a governance problem. You have to review your structure. So those are type of words we've been listening while working with donors. And then also, there is a lack of political will, country ownership, and accountability. That's really important to emphasize a little bit here. Because where there isn't political will, people can't work. Where there is not country ownership or accountability, you can't implement a project. Government need to present what they want exactly. They have to take the ownership and they have to be accountable. We hear that a lot. You guys are not accountable, and then we need really to work on the ownership. The last, not the least, it's corruption. We can't hide it here. Most of us move from our country to the Western country because the system doesn't give us the opportunity. Most of diaspora, even donors, are complaining about the corruption. The corruption is in Africa. Corruption is everywhere. But really, we need to face that issue, to work on the governance, to work on the well-being of our population. Therefore, the corruption, and to put the law in place, and the law that will be followed with the sanction that will may a little bit reduce corruption. Because we've been hearing a lot how donors are complaining about corruption in Africa. It's not only donors who has been complaining. We have also other side, the recipient, NGOs, the government, the countries have been also complaining about the donors. There is kind of competition on complaining. So what's happened? The country have been complaining about the donors, saying that they bring money, but they don't consider integration of local and regional priority. Most of the time, only donors' priority are taken in consideration. So when they bring money, when donors, when country, multi-partner, bilateral, bring money in Africa, they have their own agenda. They need to support, to push for that agenda. But they forgot about country priorities. They forgot about regional priorities. And countries have been complaining. But at the end of the day, as they need money to work on their politics, and they would need money to put in action their plan, they will accept money, even though they've been complaining about lack of integration. Another thing is not harmonization of a priority of policy. There is a difference between the policy of the donor and the country. Most of the time, what we can say, it's only lack of understanding of appreciation of local and culture. I have an example to share. Most of the time, donors and country are facing issue. It may be just for a word. A specific word can create really a conflict. I was in Uganda delivering a speech during university talk show, and there was people, representative from Muslim, from Catholic, from government, and other students. The question was how culture can interfere with sexual reproductive health and work. And then people was struggling about an agenda. Western was pushing as NGOs and as donors. We were pushing on comprehensive sexual education. And country was saying, okay, we need it here because there is a need. But actually, we don't want it to be comprehensive. We want it to be age appropriate. So all the fighting was around age appropriate and the comprehensive sexual education. So that's what I'm saying. Many times donors have the agenda that they bring in country, but they didn't consider the culture and consider also the appreciation of the country. Let's talk about also gender equity and equality. The Western comprehensive of gender is not the same as the African comprehension of gender. Let's talk about men engagement. Men engagement comprehensive of Western is not the same in Africa. So we have really to find a way, a balancing way, where we as donors and people are in country have to work together. Other thing also here, it capacity building training and skill transfer session are often not adequately consider the response of the need of the country. Have you asked yourself a question? Why every single project implemented in Africa should have training component? While in the Western, they are talking about innovation. And we in Africa, we're still talking about basic training, basic trainings. So the question is where we should move from knowledge and then also implement what we've been trained the past 20, 40 years. So why? Because people are sitting in the Western without context analysis, without country knowledge, and they decided which training has to go from this project in Africa, while asking people, while doing a deep context analysis to understand exactly what the country needs. In this context analysis, we talk about COVID-19. We all know what COVID-19 is pushing us and what style of life we have now. But we learn also that when we had the first wave of COVID, there was a lot of travel restrictions. So most of international staff shouldn't go back to the country to implement the project, but the country staff remained with the project. So what happened? People in the country have really to implement the project, but have we capacitated them to do so? I don't think so. That's why we thought it's really, really time for us to go beyond our mind, to get up out of the box and think how we have to do business differently. Because COVID-19 shows us that we need really to invest on capacity building, on local capacity building, so people can do implement the projects anytime we are not there. That's why we as African Sustainable Development Advisor, we've seen ourselves as a bridge between donors and country, African country. We've seen ourselves as a bridge because we know what exactly the donors need, we know what the donors are thinking, and we know their area of interest, and we have African context, as I said. Who knows African better than us? No one. We do consultancy, financing, resource mobilization. After we do monitoring and evaluation. Actually, we are assisting country on COVID-19 resilience and recovery. We do program management, and then also skill and capacity transfer. We are talking about how Africa, what is the role of diaspora in sustainable development goals. So as you see here, our area of focus, it's really merging or to really align with the sustainable development goals. So we do child protection, we do environmental and climate change. We are focused on gender, equity, and equality. We do global health. We do also quality and equitable education. We emphasize on social entrepreneurship and sustainability for youth engagement and empowerment. So you'll see that in this area, in all those areas, we really cover 6 to 7 sustainable development goals. And then also We are really on our strategy. I will speak very soon. We focus on the goal 17, what is partnership, because we understand that stronger will be well enough. Our targets and our audience role, we work with government. We took money from the government. We bid, we do proposal development. And we talk with African diaspora because we know that diaspora has a strong organization in different countries and we can found projects in Africa. We talk with international and national NGOs. We knock the door of a foundation, a UN agency, regional institution, and private bank and cooperatives. So AFRISDA, we are not only an intermediary. We do intermediary where people have struggling to enter in Africa. We facilitate the market in Africa. We facilitate, do our group of consultancy services, and then also we are good in implementation. As you see, our advisors have been working the past 30 years in international development, so we do implementation as well. We do intermediary and then implementation. So we work directly with government bodies, we work with local NGOs, and also national organizations. AFRISDA, we drive innovation and the transformation. That's why we encourage all forms of innovation. In our projects or intervention, we merge 2 to 3 innovations. We focus on technology. We know now that technology has a huge role to play in international development. We do technology in data management. We do technology in agriculture, technology in women empowerment and youth. We do also innovation of approaches. So we don't need to do things business as usual. We've been working with NGOs. We are not criticizing NGOs, but we are experienced from NGOs. That's where we learn. We do approaches differently. We can't build the toilet as that was 20 years past. We really do new approaches. In any our project, we ask ourselves, what is the innovation for this project? Because we need to bring excellent in Africa and excellent in our project. We do innovation on process and model business, as I said. So any new business, we have specific business model to do in Africa. Our innovation also is based on deliver mechanism and also on product and services. So the product that we bring in Africa, the product that we deliver in Africa is the product that we create or other third partner created, and then we decide to work together. Remember, I told you, I show a slide when I was referring on the 5 areas where diaspora really emphasize on the transfer of knowledge. As Africa, as AFRISDA, how we do? In this graph, you have the first thing in this graph that you need to know what we are doing in our knowledge transfer mechanism. Where we have a project, where we need to work with the country, the first thing we decide to do what we call RASKI. There is a team on proposal development. And this team is made by one program manager. In our team, we have strong people, strong team member who has program management capacity. And then we will have also someone who has M&E and research capacity. And we put together a team with technical advisor and someone with compliance and finance capacity. And in the way we do associate our partners in country where we have local partners. People will work with a lead advisor. So why we do that? Because we have to do knowledge transfer. So the knowledge transfer has to go bring people from the country, because we do understand that knowledge transfer is both way. It's not only us living in diaspora, being a diaspora, but also we do recognize and strongly believe that our fellow Africans living in the continent, they do have the knowledge because they have the update situation in countries. That's why we really associate them in the proposal development. In any project, any single project, any single intervention that we are about to do, they really are there. And then also they work with us of any proposal that we've been working or any project intervention. And more likely, the same team who works in the proposal development will be the same team to implement the projects. Why? Because they understand from the way to go what is the donor's dynamic and what is the country dynamic as well, to move forward and really put a strong proposal and discuss with the donors, since we have to share knowledge together and move. But a question you'll ask me is, what AFRISDA approaches in international development sector? So AFRISDA believe in coordination. First thing what we are doing, it's coordination. As I said, we coordinate with local partners in Africa. We coordinate with partners here in Western. Coordination is really strong and is our recommendation, is our strategy. We do ownership, stakeholder ownership. So here, we can't do a project without the ownership of countries. Why? Because we believe a project cannot be sustained if there is not an ownership. So we understand that we need to give the power to the community. We need to give the power to African government, to African organization, so they will get the ownership of our project, ownership of our intervention. Even we left, after the end of the project will not die. We will believe that we have a sustainability plan, an exit strategy that we define or we design together with the community, with the organization. Therefore, at the end of the project, the ownership will be taken, and then they will have a good sustainability of the project. What will happen? While we are doing projects, we do not create group or organization. We build on the existing one. We met them and we define which level of sustainability we have to work on it. We have institutional sustainability that we need to build. We have financial sustainability. We have to ask ourselves the question, what will happen at the end of the project? We do have organization sustainability, and then also social sustainability. It's any of our projects. We do knowledge transfer, as I said earlier. We really make people together, partners, and work with them for this project or any other project. We do partnership. We can't go alone. We really partner with others organizations. That's why we build MOUs, we create partnership, we create collaboration, we create consortium with a lot of partners. We've been doing that so far in DRC, we've been doing that in Mozambique, in Malawi, we've been having this in Tanzania, Lesotho, Namibia, Sierra Leone, Senegal. So those are consortium with local partners in country, in Guinea, Conakry, and then we move forward. So that's way Africa Development Sustainable Advisor, AFRISDA, are really focusing as approaches in international development. You will ask me the question as a diaspora, how I see the future of diaspora, how the future look like. Yes, for me, on my side, as a diaspora, as also a CEO of African Development Advisor, I do believe I see the future where African diaspora must create a generation that promotes equality, equity, and inclusion. So without bringing everyone, women, men, adolescent, everyone, different religion, different sex orientations, everyone together in Africa, we can't see the future of diaspora. So we need to create an avenue. We need to create a space in a world of diaspora where all the diaspora will create this generation. I do believe in that very soon we will have this generation that will promote equality, equity, and inclusion. We need African diaspora women to take the voice, to lead organization. We need them. We need everyone. We can't put everyone aside for this diaspora, for the future of the diaspora. What I'm seeing again, the futures, diaspora has to invest in education and transfer knowledge, know-how, and technology. We have to invest, to put our money in education. We have a lot of fellow Africans in country of origin. So we need to invest. That's the only way they will be educated. The only way we can really impact the social economic of our country. Let's see how Indian diaspora work on education. You can see a lot of medical doctors, a lot of engineers. They move from India, they move from China, they come here abroad, they get educated and then went back in country. So that's the way African diaspora have to do and how I'm seeing the future. We need to create a link between Western and African university on base of win-win. Why? Because African is a good learn of research. African has a potential on knowledge, on education. So university, Western university, we need to strengthen. We are here as advocate. We have to advocate to create links between the university we came from in Africa and the university that we get our degree or others experiences here. That's the way I'm seeing the future of African diaspora. The fourth one is we need really to develop and adopt a strong communication strategy that will change the negative image of Africa in the world. Do you believe on that? We know anytime when they are talking about Africa, they talk about crisis, they talk about war, they talk about corruption, they talk about diseases, malnourished kids, epidemics, right? So I do believe that Africa has a lot to show to Western country. Referring on Ubuntu, we have to do that. We have to show in the country, Western country. So as a diaspora, we need to put our strength together to develop a strong communication strategy, communication materials that we have to show to our kids, to show to the Western that Africa image is not only what you are seeing in the news, and Africa image, it's really beyond what you are seeing in internet and you are seeing in TVs. And then also, we need to promote back home return movement. So African has to promote that in diaspora. That's the way we are seeing our future, how that looks like. If you allowed me to conclude my speech, my presentation, we need to be stronger together, as I said earlier. Coordination and strong, solid networking between diaspora is a watchword. Diaspora has a lot of organizations, a lot of diaspora's communities are spread around the world. Talking about Canada, US, UK, France, everywhere. Diaspora has spread. And there is a stronger movement of diaspora that already exists. So we need to come together, and then stronger together, we can better coordinate. People from diaspora, you are watching, you are listening to us today. We need to really connect ourselves to get a good and strong networking. So that's way diaspora can move. The African diaspora must invest in innovation, active initiative in their country to enable country to meet at least acceptable conditions. Most of people criticize Africa. They don't want to go back home. But I'm asking why? Because you didn't invest in country. You didn't invest. That's why you are going back home. You don't find the same accommodation, the same condition as in Western country. So you have to think on what to do in country of origin. The country of origin must have diaspora profile to identify all diaspora organizations in order better to the government to engage them. Government has to organize diaspora. They have to know how many diaspora organizations are in Canada. People from country, from DRC, Ethiopia, Malawi, Sudan, Liberia, everywhere. Our government, our home country government, have to organize diaspora. They have to create, such was in DRC, in the past government. There was a minister of diaspora. So this minister, we need to build on it, because it's the way to go back home, is the way to meet diaspora expectation, where they are talking with someone who understands their need. The home country has to facilitate and promote the back home movement for the diaspora. They have to create opportunities and appropriate connection and reducing red tape. We know most of the time we criticize the home country government. Why? Because the slow of administrations. Most of people are frustrated because home country administration doesn't work the same we've been expecting. So the home country have to work on the governance. They have to reduce the red tape. They have to work and to rebuild the administration. So diaspora can really come back, and diaspora can support a country where we came from. Thank you very much for your time. And then we are open for questions and comment. Thank you.
And I'm delighted to say that Dr. Matangwa joins us now for the Q&A. Doctor, fascinating insight. And I can see that you're full of passion for what you're doing and the organisation that you're part of in driving this forward.
Yeah, so thank you very much. As I've been saying, that who knows Africa better than us. So you can do something in Africa without consulting Africa. That's why we here in diaspora, we represent Africa, because we know exactly what is the need that our people has and how we can penetrate or go back in Africa and talk to them. What we see in working with international development and working with government and also with donors, most of the time, they don't really consider the need of Africa, because they have their agenda, because they need to push for one philosophy. So what happened on that? They need people like us. They need organizations like Afrisa and others, the movement of diaspora, to go back in Africa and talk to Africa and run the project. Because where there is a risk, we don't take risk analysis the same way like Western are doing. We know the people. When you can shout about corruption, about capacity building, but we know how to talk to those people and how to get them in the project. So that's why we really believe that talking to Africans who are in the diaspora, we really want to work with them so they can really participate in the social economic of our country. As I said in the remittance, we are sending a lot of money. More likely, this money is the same like international aid we are receiving from Western country. So why not be together, coordinate those funds that we are sending home so we can really invest in innovation? That's what we Africa are doing. Yeah.
And of course, you mentioned there that Africans, native Africans, descendants of Africans, people going back and helping out and educating, sharing knowledge, bringing expertise, philanthropy, all of these things has to be done by people who know the systems, who know the culture, who are accepted. But do you ever feel like there's some resistance from local experts, those that haven't left their native countries, who are plugging away on the ground, and you guys come back? Do they deal with you with suspicion? Are you welcome?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's why I say that African government, our country of origin, has to notice and to know how many organizations of diaspora are living, for instance, in the UK, in Canada, in France, or in US. Why? Because they need to promote go back movement in country. And then they need to prepare people from the country that those are your fellow. We didn't run our countries. Some of us, we immigrate because of knowledge, and others was political issues. But at the end of the day, we have our country of origin. We are the same people. I know there was kind of a lot of competition with people rest in country, but we see also good example that the U.S. community are going back to Ghana. They really invest in country. We are seeing those movements in Francophone countries as well. So the thing is, we need really to do inside knowledge, inside investment. So people from Africa has to understand that we are coming not for competition, but we are coming to work together. I know it's really tricky, but it's possible because we've seen those a good example in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Egypt, and then Gabon as well.
And of course, you flip that on its head, and you think particularly of Western governments where they've attracted the very best talent from African countries, poached them almost, incentivized them to come to their own, bring in their own expertise. So that's a thing that you've got to try and deal with, isn't it?
Yeah, so what we are doing that to have Western understand that they need to invest in African, because nobody can do that. Yes, everyone has his philosophy. Western has their agenda. I gave a simple example when we talk about comprehensive sexual education. Western are pushing for comprehensive, but the basic should be age appropriate. So Western can't really work by own in Africa. They have to put African together so we can discuss even for international aid, right? Most of the time what we see in international aid, that has been not decolonized yet. So people have always linked it with what they have in their past. So it's possible Western, what they are doing, it's so great. I'm not criticizing donors. They are doing what they can do, but they may do also above what they are doing now. We've seen that in COVID. We in Africa, people are really, they know how to manage all those, outbreak. They know because it's really like we've been going through that a lot of time. But COVID having a spread worldwide, people now can see how it's managed in Africa, and they can learn from Africa and see how we can really work as a community, as a global movement. So it's possible to have everyone in the same place and discuss for a good world that we all have to benefit and for the future of our kids. Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right there. And I think one of the things, as you highlighted, to overcome is the way that news is portrayed, often in a very biased way, that the news that is seen is not always an accurate reflection, and it can be quite negative in the way that it does that. Just thinking again about the diaspora, in a way that you're saying, perhaps we need to be mindful, the diaspora need to take some maybe responsibility, but how do we create a sense of them feeling some belonging with their, native countries?
So that's the work of our government. The native government, the country of origin have to create that. Because as I said, most of people, they left the country because of the red tape. Administration is very slow to get a paper. I create Afrisa. We created Afrisa sitting at home without seeing someone. We just log in the government platform and we create. So you go in Africa, you go in my country of origin, for instance, DRC, you will have to go a lot of paperwork, and it's not easy to put an enterprise in place. So government of origin, country of origin, has really to promote, to show diaspora that things have been moving. So you are welcome. And then also, it's not only the country of government, it's also the diaspora. We have to invest in innovative way, because if you complain, I'm going back to my home country, I don't have running water, I don't have electricity. But what you did where you was in diaspora to get the same condition in your country, when you are going back, at least for vacation or for any research, you will find this, at least the basic accommodation, the basic, the standard one. So I think we need to work both sides, diaspora and then also the country of origin. Because at the end of the day, there is no better place to live that in your country. So we know the system, we know people, and we know how to navigate. Then here in Western, we are learning, we're still learning, right? But at the end of the day, it's really passionate for the diaspora to come together to change the image. That's what I said. We need to have a strong communication plan. Africa is not only war. Africa is not only disasters. Africa is a home, right? That's a peace land that you can live and you can enjoy. But we need to communicate to the Western that we can do that with them and get a better world. So it's possible for every part of people. If I could have a call to action, is to the diaspora, to the government, and to our host country, and then also to the people are living or are investing in Africa. That's actually because money, we are putting money. Money is going back. Technology. Africa has a growing population. They are really need education. They need basic education and also university that people can get the same level and really invest in what we are trying to do, and we are pushing for this agenda.
And of course, there is an opportunity with the way communications are taking place nowadays. If we'd have been having this conversation 30 years ago, much more challenging because communication was owned, by the government, by the corporates. Now the freedom of communication with the internet particularly gives you a massive opportunity to reach out to the diaspora and for that network to spread the good news.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. That's why I can't stop thanking you guys, African Week, and all those times we'll be organized this webinar. It's really a good platform for us diaspora, for us Africa, to show what good work we've been doing. So today with COVID, we've seen that technology is pushing us. There is no barriers, no limitation. I can talk to someone in Nigeria. Right now you are in UK, I'm in Toronto, in Canada. So we have really to take the advantage of this platform and emphasize that nobody can do a good work for Africa if not we African and diaspora. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, and what a perfect way to end day two with those kind words, but also words of encouragement. Without you guys, without the speakers and people like yourself, we wouldn't have Africa Health Week. We're very grateful to you for coming on and spreading these messages. We are here for that purpose. We had a very productive day yesterday. We've had a very productive day today, and we'll have another one tomorrow. So it's a two-way process. It's a partnership, and that's what you spoke about as well. So I want to thank you and the other speakers for joining us. You're over in Toronto. I was over there a couple of years ago. I had a fantastic time. I hope you have I think you're probably early morning over there now, but enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for you guys. And we still connected for tomorrow. Our session will be there.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to have you on board. That's Dr. Matangwa there, joined us over in Toronto, but spreading this word about the diaspora across the globe and sending all those brilliant resources back. Not just money, but knowledge, education, philanthropy, and other things back to Africa for Africa Health Week, which is where we are today. Of course, we're at the close of day 2. We had a fantastic day yesterday, and I can say we've had another brilliant day today. Thank you to all of our speakers, the partners involved in putting Africa Health Week on and Future Health. If you've missed any of those sessions today or yesterday, then do go to the Future Health YouTube channel where you can catch up and see all of those presentations and the Q&A. Again, share the good news as well. Share those YouTube links. And if you want to, use social media. We spoke about it there in spreading the news, using the hashtag Africa Health Week and Future Health to keep the conversation going. We'll be back tomorrow where you'll be able to carry on networking. The platform remains open for you to do that, to carry on the chat. And in fact, while we're at it, let's take a little look at what is coming up tomorrow. You can see there that we'll kick off tomorrow with Professor Edward Kanonga. He'll be here for that opening keynote on herbal medicine and disease areas. Later on, we'll be talking about Babylon, the company there making quality healthcare accessible and affordable for all, with Claire and Siobhan. Mark Gregory will join us for that last session in the morning, looking at mobile healthcare currency for the remote workforce. Then in the afternoon, we'll move on to knowledge sharing and transfer of non-technical skills with Andronica and her co-presenter there. And finally, Saul, I beg your pardon, will wrap it all up talking about escalating private healthcare costs and how that can be addressed. So a packed programme tomorrow as well. A brilliant day today. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm sure you have. I'm sure the learning and the networking will continue. But for now, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for day 3 of Africa Health Week.